As for animation, I model the molecules that will interact with each other, and I model the shape of the reaction and its results, and the student benefits completely. Therefore, I increase the time, I decrease the time, I increase the time, just as is done in chemical reactions that occur quickly. I increase it, I make it occur slowly, and the student, instead of the reaction occurring in a fraction of a second, does it occur in 5 minutes? Watch Algeria as it moves and merges with commentary from the teacher. Like the Kaaba during the Prophet's time in early Islam, I'll create a modern animation to show historical events, like a specific meteor. There's nothing that doesn't exist or is rare. I want to show them the sun. I could make a cartoon or animation about it. How did the Kaaba look in the era of prophecy? At the beginning of Islam, how did I see it? There were no pictures or drawings. There is a description in the history books. So I will go out and make a modern man move his body to see its shape. He will see the shape of, for example, rare things like a certain meteorite that fell to Earth. You can imagine everything. I can show time and space dimensions like in another country or the universe. Animate the sun. Dangers like nuclear reactors, volcanoes, and floods can be studied with simulations. Students can rewatch. To master skills, animation suits all ages. Colleagues, avoid distorting facts, especially for children, for example. Regarding dangers, I refer to nuclear reactors, volcanoes, floods, and phenomena studied through simulations, modeling, and animation. This reteaching method caters to individual differences, allowing students to repeatedly watch until they master the skill. I aim to demonstrate this. Animation is versatile for all ages: youth, children, adults, and the elderly. A crucial note for colleagues in animation: be cautious, especially with children, to avoid distorting facts. For instance, in physical education, teach logical jumping, not exaggerated scenarios like jumping from a plane into a lake. That's really great. I can say that animation can be presented to all ages: youth, children, adults, and even the elderly. There's something very important I want to tell my colleagues who will be working on animation. You need to be careful, especially when presenting your work to children, to avoid distorting facts. What do I mean by that? For example, be careful not to exaggerate. In physical education, teach them to jump. I shouldn't make them jump out of an airplane. I just give them a game over and say, you failed, try again. Some people get freaked out. This isn't necessary. It's not educational. Avoid creating confusion. Don't exaggerate. Aim for education and entertainment. Combine them for educational entertainment. Let's not make it too hard. And getting cut into 600 pieces with blood everywhere? No, I'd give them a game over. You failed? Try again. Blood isn't needed. It freaks some people out. Some say it's unnecessary. I must avoid confusion. Others exaggerate. So don't exaggerate. In animation, aim for education and fun. Combine them into educational fun. Give results, but don't make it hard. This applies to film guidelines. In films, guidelines like NC-17 appear. Tell kids, go to bed. It's for adults. It's for adults, not kids. Keep this in mind. Avoid exaggeration. Aim for education and entertainment. Combine them for educational entertainment. I'm giving them the result, but let's keep it simple. This applies to animated film guidelines. Regular films have guidelines. For example, a movie might say NC-17. Tell your kids, go to bed. This is for adults. This is for grown-ups, unsuitable for children. Keep this in mind. NC-17 means over 17 only. R-rated movies are for adults. They might contain inappropriate content. There are various ratings. As you can see, in regular films, you get guidelines. For example, when you're watching a movie and your kids are with you, it might say NC-17. You tell your kids, go to bed. This movie is for adults only. This is for grown-ups. And it contains things that aren't suitable for children, right? So you need to keep these things in mind. So, regarding NC-17, you must be 17 plus to watch it. Then there's R-rated movies for adults too. Different ratings exist. Classifications exist for family-friendly content. This symbol appears on family-friendly cartoons. Everyone can watch and understand, like Tom and Jerry. Some content needs parental guidance. Parents guide kids in understanding content. Some content isn't for very young kids. There are classifications and guidelines, and there are things designated for the whole family. This is general. You see this symbol at the beginning of a cartoon movie, and you can use it if it's suitable for the whole family. No problem. Everyone can sit and watch and they'll all understand, like Tom and Jerry and those kinds of things. But there are things that need guidance and direction from parents. So here, parents act as guides for their children in understanding certain parts or content that the kids are watching, right? And this might not be suitable for very young children, and so on. This is very important for us. Let's pay attention to what's important, okay? Before we move on to the historical perspective of animation, I want to wrap up the theoretical content since we still have about an hour. Before the break, or less than an hour, I want to finish the theoretical part and then open a program for you to follow along with me. Here, as you can see, we have animated films. The image in front of us is from a film called Fantasia, created with chalk. Look at the guy standing there drawing, for example, the animation. Is the zoom working? Where's the zoom? Oh, in this area, do you see that guy? He's drawing with chalk. He draws a line and sketches the steps until you get these white shapes on a black background. He draws and brings out the frames, and these frames are taken, displayed, and shown in sequence to give you the illusion of movement that we talked about. Of course, these are all early forms of animation. Like the American animator James Stewart, who worked on animated frames, as we mentioned, frame by frame. One of the most famous films he made is the film Fantasia, which has a dark background like this black screen, and it shows luminous or white shapes in that form. The tool is available to us with this pen. I put the pen down. The pen is no longer with me. The topic evolved and the drawing became about dinosaurs. If you search on YouTube and type Fantasia, you'll find the film. If you say, I want to see the dinosaur film, it will show you that. I don't want you to memorize this. Open YouTube and a screen. I write the dinosaur. The dinosaur film was made in 1914 and it's about 13 minutes long. It will show you the film. And if you go further and say, I want to see the dinosaur film, it will also show you that. So let's say, I don't want you to memorize this. Come here to YouTube, and open a screen. I don't like to have YouTube running while I'm training due to ads. So here I want to write the dinosaur to avoid mistakes. The dinosaur film was made in 1914, so YouTube will show you that. The dinosaur film will show you that it's about 13 minutes long. It shows the making, revealing their work. Let's focus on the film itself and see how they created it. See their effort before 3D Max. Our training is fundamental, 6 hours long. I've studied 3D Max. The dinosaur movie was made in 1914. This is the dinosaur movie. See their work on it. Our training is fundamental. It's 6 hours. I'll show the video before continuing, so you don't think I'll learn 3D Max in 6 hours. These things take time. This is 3D Max, and see how many videos there are. Each is about 3 hours long. This is the dinosaur movie, and it shows you the making of the film. Look at how these people worked on it. Before there were programs like 3D Max and all that, look at the effort they put into it. By the way, our training here is fundamental. It's 6 hours long. I've studied 3D Max at the Russian Cultural Center. I swear I'll show you the video before I continue. Just so you don't think I'll learn 3D Max in those 6 hours. No, you need to be aware that these things take time. For example, these are the videos of the diplomas I took. This is 3D Max. And look at how many videos there are. Each video is about 3 hours long. So 23 is the minimum case. Anything more than that is 23. Why is that? Because I need to get the certificates. Don't you know the best certificates? You know, there are supposed to be certificates, right?